Coming to you live from the Stream.tv studios in Hollywood, California, Pensado's Place is brought to you by Vintage King, the Blackbird Academy, Avid, Recording Connection, Studio 202, Slate Media Technologies and Slate Digital, and Audio Technica.
Our guest today is such a creative spirit. He's a businessman, a dad. He's an international TV star. He's also a really good friend. The dog is in the house. You're going to enjoy meeting him. Good news internationally for the Blackbird Academy. India's in some crazy discussions with your boys at Pensado's Place. It's Grammy week in LA. It is bananas. You're at the place, baby. Pensado's Place.
What's up? Glad to have you with us. It's been a spectacular few weeks for us, and I guess you'd call this the zenith of it all, probably a little bit, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I think in the audio season, January into February is almost like playoff times.
Well, yeah, well, it's the East Coast comes west. That's what I love about it. You know, we saw so many good buddies last night at the Naris thing. Shout out to Maureen Droney.
And the weather is helping us because either they can't go back and have to stay here, or they can't get out.
At NAMM, that's true.
You should have seen Melissa from Isotope, one of the people we love over at that company, sent me a picture of the snowdrift in front of her house.
What's snow? I'm from Miami.
It's a substance. It's similar to cocaine, and it's
Miami.
There you go. See, there's the correlation.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, she had like an 8-foot snowdrift in front of her house, and that's how much they got socked in and couldn't do stuff. But maybe we can tell them about the experience of what it's like, should we?
Snow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So non-snow.
So this is snow. Guys, it's really good to see you. As we were saying, January into February for the audio space is almost like the Super Bowl. It's frenetic, but it's super exciting. What happens is NAMM morphs into the Grammys. So there's a ton of networking and events and news and opportunity. As we tape this, I just left a meeting with our G-Tech brothers. They're coming with some phenomenal workflow solutions for you guys. Smart, swappable, virtually indestructible, really brilliant stuff. We're going to be able to get some of those to you. In the last 2 weeks, we have seen major immersive audio from Sennheiser and DTS, plugins that rock from Isotope and UA, Blackbird's coming with some heat too. Stay tuned for that. We're in interesting discussions with Beat Factory out of India. A lot going on.
I like those guys,
absolutely.
I really like those guys.
It's all happening, and what we're going to try to do is make sure it all works out in ways we can bring it to you and make sure that you benefit from this. Continue to like and subscribe and join the ride. We love you for that.
Yeah,
if everything goes according to the plan, where you're seeing us now, we're actually in the theater of the new studio that Dave works out of. They have a great theater room with what you can't see is behind the camera. There's this incredible movie screen. There's a screening room here. They do a lot of post work here. We're about 3 weeks or so from being in our new TV studio. So lots of construction and finding broadcasting equipment and a whole bunch of stuff. Lots of news around the show. Lots of news around the new site. Bear with us a little longer. Thank you for your patience. Our friends in Nashville, the Blackbird Academy. Were you going to say something?
If you got a leftover 8mm camera, send it. We could use it.
Yeah, because right now
That's
we're using.
the porno one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And other than that, we're going to shoot the show as selfies. So,
Selfie film. That's good.
Pensado's Place brought to you by GoPro. Great news for our friends at Blackbird Academy. And it's really for all you folks internationally. They have finally received their international accreditation, and now international students can check into coming to the Blackbird Academy, getting this incredible experience, and it just so you have a bit of understanding how Blackbird works. It took them almost 2 years to get this accreditation. They only give that to the finest schools because everybody is very regulated, and they want to make sure only the finest schools have it that provide the finest opportunity. And it's why we're such fans. We know how important John McBride takes it and his team. We know how good it will be for you if you can learn there. We know some other places as well, too. Blackbird is really at the top of the heap. So if you're interested about this, and again, the international folks, come on over. The Nashville experience is unbelievable. One of the most pure musical experiences you can have in the West, in the United States, is to go down and get immersed in the Nashville culture. Would you agree with that?
Oh, when I'm there, yeah.
Well, of course.
And when I'm not there, it's pretty close.
Pretty close. So go. If Dave's not there, it'll be pretty
Let me
close.
straighten that out. I'm a guest when I go down there. Nobody learns more. Nobody has more fun than Cole and I when we go down there.
It is.
It's an experience for me that I enjoy. I just can't imagine how amazing it would be if I was just getting my career off the ground.
And we honestly understand that we fawn over them a little bit, but we fawn over everybody who is a superior brand. We fawn over Isotope, we fawn over Blackbird, we fawn over UA. We like guys who try to hit the mark. So, and there are others. We like UE, we like G-Tech, we like a bunch of folks. So, here's your opportunity to find out more information. Reach out to my girl Karma at theblackbirdacademy.com. That's CARMA at theblackbirdacademy.com. Make sure you ask them about the international stuff, what happens with financing, all the kinds of questions you may need to know. And we just want to say congrats to Karma, Kevin, Mark, our brother John McBride. You're absolutely killing it. Nobody cares more about you learning. And remember, they also have a live school. So it's not just the Blackbird Academy. They have a live opportunity. You'll be in the studio. Again, number of great schools. This one's at the top of the heap. So congrats to our guys. We're continuing our run of our NAMM shows. We're going to have Dave introduce our buddy. It's a two-parter. If you came to the event, we just had a ball. Wouldn't you say?
Well, I debuted a new form of crowd control and noise control that I think is going to catch on, but that's another story.
I'm afraid to ask what it was because I may have missed it when we were taping.
Well, there was somebody playing real loud in the booth next to us.
You did.
So,
that was extraordinary.
That was the last of my cussing. I'm trying not to curse anymore.
Okay.
Herb. I think the old adage that if you cuss a lot, it's indicative that you might not have a good vocabulary. In my case, that was true.
All right. Well, then we will help honor that.
I made all that up.
Yes, you did. And what the hell? Why don't you introduce our guest this week?
Man, Randy Jackson is a longtime friend of Herb and I. When we asked him to be on the show, he didn't hesitate. He said, anything for you guys. And, of course, we'd do anything for him. Except it let him off the hook today. Check it out. I think you're going to enjoy it. It was fun, wasn't it?
Part one of a two-parter. Enjoy, guys.
All right.
How are you? We have a very special thing, a couple of things we want to do. First of all, put a round of applause together for Avid for providing this.
Yeah.
You're at the place. Rocking.
All right,
absolutely.
give yourself a hand.
Wow,
Come on, man.
Very good.
It's like a club up in here, man.
It's a cult.
It's a cult. A cult.
The cult
Bigger
of
than a club.
So all of our grand entrance and stuff for our special guest was completely ruined. So let's go here. First of all, prepare some questions for Randy if you want. We'll do that toward the end of the show. Secondly, our Vice President of Prizing, Cole, is somewhere around there. Couple things. Headphones for some people, Pro Tools for some people. And if you want to come to a taping of our show, then he has invitations. We'll do all that at the later. For probably 20 years, we've known a guy who...
Well, I've known Randy 40.
Yeah, we go back.
Not that old.
We're actually young, older guys.
That's what it is. And we have maintained our sexy.
Exactly.
100%.
Exactly.
So, hair coloring and other shit.
Randy and I used to play in different bands together.
Well, that's good.
But
now,
we came together through Cameo in a way, didn't we?
Can I introduce it?
Yeah.
How about that? Yeah, we're doing a show.
I hadn't seen him
I know,
in a week.
Exactly. Since we had lunch
At
last
least
week.
a week.
Since we had lunch. So the best part for Dave and I, obviously Randy has had an incredible journey, has sat on top of something that is
No pun intended, journey.
global and has impact. And the fact of the matter is that the guy that we knew 25 years ago has not changed one bit. Put your hands together. You know him as the dog. We know him as Randy. He is an incredibly cool dude. Hands together for Mr. Randy Jackson.
Yay!
Yo.
Yeah,
He's very
he has
shy.
changed.
Randy's very
Wow.
shy.
I mean,
He's embarrassing.
I mean, Rob, what's going down? I mean, really, Nolan. I mean, really.
I take it back. He has changed. He wouldn't stand up before.
So
Well,
he's learned this, just like we learned. We were bad year one.
we
too.
learned.
Now
We've been educated.
We've been educated. Now we're educating. At the heart of who we've known you to be is always somebody creative who loves his instrument, who finds solace in making records and creating music and playing your bass. Still the same for you?
Yeah, I mean, really, I was a kid from Baton Rouge, Louisiana that had a dream, wanted to be a musician, grew up loving music, grew up in the lovable South, and I wouldn't trade it for anything because I got a chance to touch all styles of music. As I was just talking to my brother driving over here, who is a jazz fusion drummer, but he's been playing with B.B. King forever, and he's played with a bunch of different people, and we were just talking about Jazz Fest. So the area that I come from is a potpourri of sound of music.
Absolutely.
So one of the greatest things that I learned early on, which was amazing for me, and I still keep it with me today, is authenticity. So yeah, I mean, I still play all the time. Playing for me now is almost like therapy. Because if I didn't play, I think I'd probably lose my mind. You know
nuts.
what I mean? Because it's something that's really attached to you, close to you, something you really, really know how to do. So whatever brought you into the game first, that made people notice you, make sure you never lose that. You got to keep that with you at all times. As I say to Dave every time I see him, I say to Dave every time I see him, I don't know if y'all even notice, I say, Dave, you've been playing the guitar.
Yeah.
Dave is a hell of a guitar player. So I see, you know what I'm saying? It's like, what brought you in, that's going to keep you in and keep you sane in the game as the game morphs and changes.
Let me flip it on you. What was the last song that you just sat down and played for fun?
Last song I played for fun, I did a little jam impromptu with Nephew, who you've had on Pensado's Place, one of the producers that we manage.
Love him.
We just did a little impromptu jam. He was writing something with another artist that we have, Faye, this girl from Sweden. And it was, we just kind of jammed. We were like goofing around on it, trying to find a bridge. And so, when musicians get together,
Takes off.
Just share, just takes off. So it's almost like, I was back in my fusion days with Jean-Luc Ponty, or Herbie Hancock, or Billy Cobham, and he was back at Berklee School of Music. It's like, it's just what happens.
Yeah.
So it would be safe to say that you schooled the young'uns?
Huh?
Safe to say that you schooled the young'uns?
No.
Oh, don't be modest.
We had a
It's
good,
too
no,
late.
we had a good time. Like it's like sharing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm sure if it's the Titans together, if you will. I'm sure if Tom Brady got together with Peyton Manning
And took some air
they'd
out of
throw
some
the
balls.
ball, and they're both like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you're just kind of hanging out, sharing.
Deflate it first.
Deflate the first.
Deflate the ball.
Absolutely.
But listen, that only helps to grip the ball when it's raining. Was it raining in that game?
I think it was.
Oh, it was. Whoa.
Jeez, wonder what happened.
I know
and
who
it
you
changed
pull for.
from first half to second half. I don't know sure what happened. So you make one of the points that you made about authenticity and also a lot of different influences, living kind of a melting pot. And when you research Randy and you look at just who he's played with, right? Like it's from Bob Dylan to Aretha Franklin, from the Divinyls to Journey, Herbie Hancock to Madonna, but it also includes Charlie Daniels' band at Grand Ole Opry. And one of the things we tell our audience all the time is that draw from all the different pools. Don't lock yourself in the box. When you talk about authenticity, that's what I would posit from afar that your success on the show, besides your skills, had a lot to do with you were always Randy. The success we have is that people think that we're Herb and Dave, and the same guys they meet up here, they see off the thing. So it's a really important lesson for you guys to learn as you're growing, and for all you guys at home, find that core. All right.
Yo, there's Nephew right there.
Come here,
Just call
Nephew.
your name, man. Listen, I just call your name, you're going to live a long time.
Absolutely.
We called his name, and he showed up. It's like a wizard.
Now, the funny part that you don't know is they
Neff.
rehearsed this. So they rehearsed this yesterday to make sure it happened.
Aren't you playing
Nephew.
across the way? Yeah, just finished. You just finished? Where were you playing?
Come here, man. Good to see you, man.
So one of the most talented producers you ever want to know, and when he was on our show, one of the coolest things he ever did was talk about his spiritual faith and why it was important to him and how it defined who he was, correct? Yeah. You didn't lose Jesus between the show and now, did you? All right, cool. Cool. I just wanted to check and see. All right, you can't stay up here, man. You can sit down and reserve seats. Now, what we'll get
When
to
you play it
later
again.
is how diversified Randy's business is and how early on he diversified it. This is one of his clients. We'll talk about that.
Hey, Neff. Hey, Neff, did you outplay him? Did you outplay him?
We play together,
That's a-
man. It's a family affair.
That's a good answer when he's your manager. I'll talk to you later. So take you back a little bit. Probably year 2 of Idol, me, you, and Steve Ivory went to lunch out in the valley.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I've always noticed about you pre-Idol and certainly post, or as you started, was you've always thought about being diversified. I mean, back then, it was about songwriters and you producing and the opportunity for your eyewear line and watches and all that kind of stuff. Is that part of your creative construct? It just allows you to get off and fire different cylinders beyond opportunity to make money?
Yeah, I think that, what I am, the good and the bad faults of me is I'm a creative person. So creative people are definitely extra. Yeah, we're all a little bit crazy, but we're probably a little bit crazy to be in entertainment in general. That includes all of y'all.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because I think, look, it's a very tough business. It's very unpredictable. And, I had a mentor early on, a great producer named Tom Dowd.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That did Ray Charles, Aretha Franklin, who was part of the Armored Erdogan thing, and him. And, this guy, so he got me into tapping into my love of music. So that's how I got into different music styles. Do you love music? Or you just love your little niche?
Yeah.
If you love your little niche, hopefully your little niche will feed you for the rest of your life.
'Cause if not-
it probably won't be that way, and your niche is going to morph and change and move. I see people that were heavy into EDM, now it's like deep house. So it keeps moving. So are you going to move with it like a label or like a marketing promotion person? Or are you going to just stick with this shape and I'm not moving and trying? So that means you're going to have a lot of heavy, high ups and downs. So I love music. So that's what kind of led me there. Tom Dowd, turned me on and said, hey, man, do you love music or you just love this? No, I love music. So I love creativity. So everything that I do from, selling eyewear, watches, guitars, we manage chefs, we manage producers, writers, artists. We got a furniture guy. Everything is all creative people. As long as you're creative, that's what it's about. And you can look amongst yourselves and you can see artists today. Radiohead's very creative. Kanye West is very creative. So that's why he's thinking about the stage show. He's thinking about the music, he's thinking about the stage show, how the people going to react. What am I going to say? What am I going to do? So I'm that creative. I love art, I love music, I love the whole creation of whatever, and I can identify.
And you did, and you kept that up even while all the explosion of Idol was going on. You always
Yeah,
had
because
that-
that's the same thing. Idol was really a talent discovery. One of the greatest parts about Idol is myself and Simon Cowell were A&R guys. I was at
was gonna
MCA at
ask
the
you that.
time.
Absolutely.
And Simon was at RCA.
Yep.
So little do people realize when you're an A&R guy, and I've put together countless numbers of bands and musicians all my life and audition musicians, and I was the one being auditioned. So I went out there to audition, so I knew the mistakes I made until somebody looked at me and said, you know what, he's all right. So I knew the mistakes I made, so I said, listen, I can tell what people are looking for. So I was able to put together a lot of bands for a lot of other artists and shows.
Yep.
Being an A&R guy, you're looking for talent, but you're really looking for a star.
For a star.
Star first, because somebody has to move the room. There's a bunch of talented people. There's a bunch of people that are not that talented. All of you know some unbelievable singers. Most of the most ridiculous singers are in the church
Are in
somewhere,
churches.
right?
Absolutely.
But they're not necessarily stars. Some of the greatest musicians in the world may be just ridiculous, but they're not necessarily stars. So they make a good living and they make money doing their art, but if you wish to have the Holy Grail where you have the art with the ultimate commerce, then that needs to be followed with a star. So we could see somebody walking down the hallway before they entered the audition room, and we'd go, there's a ticker tape that goes down by their face, 40 different boxes. Would you sign it? Is it a star? You see it right even before they open their mouth and sing or say a word.
Yep.
So, it's just something you develop. So that helped us born that show, because that show was really about, at the time, when I was at MCA, we could have Mary J. Blige, Blink-182, whatever artists on Leno, Letterman, which were the bigger night shows at the time.
Yeah.
You'd put them on there, you spend $100, $2,000 per show for a 3-hour thing, and
Yep.
you'd look to get a sales spike. That's why you put them on. You don't put them on there just to be seen.
That's
you put
right.
them on there with the hopes, oh my God, you go on this show, you're going to sell another 100,000 albums.
That's right.
Because it's, the record business is about making the money back that you invest and hopefully a profit. We saw those numbers dwindling. I mean, you had Brian McKnight at the time. Those numbers were dwindling, so you go, there's got to be a better way to break an artist. So Idol really was a show about trying to figure out another way to break an artist. Meaning that if you come off the show and you got 10 million people in audience on your social feeds and all these people are voting for you, here is an audience to sell to. So if we could sell to them and you go down, if we could sell 5% of those 10 million people, man, we're doing great. We're doing better than the labels are doing.
Yeah.
So it really started as that and a talent discovery. So,
Randy,
Randy,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. This would be a good time to ask this question. A lot of our friends in the audience don't really understand the machinations of a record company. Herb, both you guys, because you've been so deep in the record company, you sign an act, you believe in this act. What happens next? Take me through the stages of a record company. What happens? Do they go through some kind of grooming and then some kind of, because you just mentioned the promotion part, getting them on TV. Why do so many acts fail? Is it because of the
well,
that's a
broad
different question. But
well, it's a broad question. Well, I'll go through the record company thing first.
Okay.
I spent 15 years, 10 years at Columbia and 5 years at MCA in the A&R department as a producer, staff producer, and senior VP. So, first of all, to sign an act, even today, and Neff hears this all the time in any of the groups that I work with, artists, there's a bunch of groups and artists here that I work with.
is Jackson here?
He's not here, but I think his band is here. Dave mixed the song for you guys, wherever you guys are.
Oh man, I love you guys. I hope
Dave
you like
mixed
the
your
mix.
first single, man. Dave is the business dude.
And the most important thing is the check cleared. Woo, yeah, woo. Oh, sorry, I'm out of character.
No.
Sorry, Randy.
So basically, as an A&R guy, they're a dime a dozen. Everybody's got an idea. Everybody's heard somebody, oh my God, this person should be signed, that person should be signed. So you now have to take this to the label, which is essentially a bank with a bunch of bank managers saying, I believe in this act. I'm going to fall on the sword for this act. I think this act's going to work and be big. So you got to sell this to your label. You don't just sign it automatically. So all of a sudden, you become a manager for the act internally at the label.
Absolutely.
So you got to sell this to the label and hope and pray that they meet the artist shows up, and you sign the artist. So the criteria that they're looking for going in, once again, this is the most important thing in any artist's career, in any of our careers, by the way. The only reason we're here, songs. Amazing, great songs. Not good, not okay, not that I'm the only one that likes it, nobody else understands me. Great-ass songs that are hits. And hits are one-listen records. They're not records that you have to spend hours and days and months and years listening to. I don't know why that one didn't connect with the public. Hey, the public don't lie. They either like it or they don't. And hopefully, if you're in the game, they like what you're doing and you will be profitable. So the label is looking for, it's a bank. If I'm going to invest in an artist, so we find an artist. We bring it in. We saw an artist at a club last night, wherever. So we're going to sign this artist. Okay, how much is this deal? 200 grand to make the record? How much are we going to spend in marketing and promotion? Another 2, 3, 4, 500 grand? So we're into $1 million. How am I going to get this money back? The label is saying. So your job as an A&R person now, you got to go out and find those songs, those writers, those producers, those mixers, those other managers that are managing the act to hopefully bolster it up that you make great enough music that it's going to sell to the public and the label gets its money back. If the label doesn't get its money back, and the label really wants that, right? The marketing and promotion team, they're taking it to every radio station, they're doing everything they can. If the public doesn't respond,
over and out.
Whose fault is that?
Right.
Well, I took it upon myself, and every A&R person should take it upon themselves. Before I got into A&R, I hated A&R people. I still hate A&R people because somebody signs the shit that's out there that is working and not working. Somebody signed it and somebody made these records and somebody chose those songs. So I listen to records all the time and go, how could they choose that song as the single? What? Okay, right. So if it doesn't work, I would say, hey, I made the record. No shame in my game. I made the record. I found the mixers, the producers, the writers. I missed it.
Yeah.
So I think people don't live in the authentic artist phase enough in the record world. So that's the reason records don't sell, Dave, is that the public doesn't respond to the song. So I say this to people all the time. The record business is in the worst shape it's ever been in, right? In one aspect, in the sales aspect. You got one platinum record last year, Taylor Swift. Okay. So the reason for that, if Heinz ketchup got bad today, we wouldn't eat it. So obviously the public is saying to you, they don't like what you're doing. So you got to figure out another way to do it. I don't care if there's 40 people writing on a song. Forget the ego, forget whatever. The song is king, queen, prince, and everything. If the song ain't good, you ain't got nothing. I don't care how talented you are. I don't care how pretty you think you are. If you don't have a hit song, you have zero in my estimation.
Do you have anything? Man.
No, it's the truth. I mean, look, no offense, and I love them to death, and I've met all of them, and they're brilliant. The Beatles were not even remotely the greatest singers. They were not the best musicians by light years. Oh my God, everybody in this room's probably better than them.
But the songs.
But the songs were better than, oh my God. So these guys are all billionaires from those songs.
Absolutely.
Not from their talent, not from how cute they were. The songs have a life that'll go on until the earth burns.
So to that point, you asked me to add to that.
Yes.
One of the advantages that you guys have and all you guys at home should think about and make sure you manage. Because you have so much technology, don't lose the art of understanding what a good song is, because all that technology into a bad song is going to mean nothing. It's really critical in my staff meeting, right? In my staff meetings, I used to tell my staff, will be no debate about a hit because everybody will go, oh my God, if we have to start talking about it, that's a bad sign. And that means that learning what can be a really good song is not the same as a really great song.
Yeah, find out what that is.
That's an art form, and you have to study that. That's going to take your technology and your production, your engineering skills, your producing skills to the level where you can earn a living.
The fortunate part for all of us up here, and let me throw a little props to these two guys because they're both industry veterans and brilliant. So we've all been there and seen the rise and seen the fall.
Presided over some of
so
it.
the rise, so the rise. So Herb is a manager, the rise. So my God, you're managing this artist. This guy is incredibly talented. I think he's a handsome-looking guy. I mean, look, I know I was born pretty, so I'm cool.
That's right.
You know, I'm secure
you know
within
how to
myself,
identify it.
right? But listen. So he was managing
That's
this
your
guy.
father.
Lo and behold, out of nowhere, I don't know where it came from, Herb, this guy gets a song. Back at one. Oh, my God.
Boom.
Oh, my God. And the
Unbelievable.
sky lights up. Herb is booking dates. I mean, you can't fill enough dates. That's the power of a hit.
And let me tell you how
Anytime wasn't a slouch.
and let me tell you how clear it was. So what Randy's referring to is an artist named Brian McKnight, and I had him for probably 14 years. And because of the way he could sing, very early on, great singers would call me all the time. Aretha Franklin, Quincy Jones, other people, Crosby, Stills, and Nash Young, Stevie Wonder. They wanted to sing with Brian, so check that box. But he went in the studio every day and did demos, and he would just give them to us constantly. I would have 1,000 songs. And the ones that stood out, when he played Back at One, I turned it off within 30 seconds, looked at him and said, your career is going to change. It was just that evident, which, by the way, the inspiration for that song, in case you have to find inspiration, was back in the day when you had stereos that you had to put together. The instructions would say, 1, you do this, 2, you do that, 3, you do this, and then 4, you do that, and once you have it, then go back to 1. And that's really, if you listen to Back at Once, 1, you've got a dream come true, 2, just want to be with you. So his inspiration came from stereo instructions, and it absolutely changed his life. When I say changed your life, I'm talking about opportunity, the cash flow, which was really good, went from here to here. So all your investments, so we don't have to beat it to death, in your technology, in your skills, if you don't understand songs or work with somebody who doesn't understand songs, you're putting a cap on your ability. Lesson learned from one of the best, and 2 of the other best as well.
And listen, this guy's mixed every song. And one of the things I love about Dave as a mixer, which a lot of you guys can learn about, is he mixes a song musically, because he's a musician and a great guitar player, he's thinking about what's going to bring the best thing out in the song. Like, we've been doing this so long, I can tell, I just got some mixes in recently, I can tell how a mixer favors what instrument he likes. Either the drums are loud as hell with 18 million samples on them, or the bass is loud, or the vocals buried, or the music's like loud, you know what I mean? So this guy's mixing musically for the radio saying, hey, this is what's going to make this song a hit. And if there's vocals on a song, the only star on that song is the vocal. So what I love about Avid, what I love about Pro Tools, and I was on the Guinea Pig program years ago, because I was up in the Bay Area with Narda, with the guys that originally developed the whole software. So what I love is now you have no excuse. You could do it in your bedroom. You could do it in your laptop. You could do it on your iPad, on your phone, anywhere to create. So what it's done is it's given you the tools. So the technology, you are set. This is the best, world-renowned, the best ever. It just gets better every time. The HDX system is amazing. Now, you have no excuse. But remember, the learning, that's only half the game. Now you need the song. Everybody's got a bunch of beats. Everybody's got a bunch of soft synths and a bunch of stuff and a bunch of sounds. Where's the song? So that's what I'm still waiting always to hear. Where's the song?
Yeah.
You got one?
Randy, I've known you forever. Why did you choose the pace?
Here's what happened to me. My brother's a drummer.
Well, hold on. You weren't that good a guitar player, probably? Is that what it was?
Well, no. Here's what happened to me.
He said, of course, no. That's not
Here's
it.
what happened to me. You got to remember something. So I grew up in the dirty South in the hood, right? My brother was a drummer. He had this band that used to rehearse in my mom's garage. So I'd hear everybody play, and at that time in the neighborhood, you had these kind of block parties. So the local band, Big Bo Melvin and the Nighthawks, would rehearse on somebody's front porch. And the neighborhood would gather around, wow, there's music coming, man, this is good. And they were so dope, and that guy later became my first bass teacher. So for some reason, man, I can't tell you, I played saxophone for like 15 years. I played guitar, I played drums, I played piano, but the bass just spoke to me. And that's what I mean. What speaks to you? What speaks and resonates to your soul? What moves you? That's what you should follow. Not what you want. What moves you?
Right.
That's what you should follow. Like when you hear a great song, it moves you. That's why Pharrell was so infectious with Happy. It moves you. It made you feel good. So that's what the bass did for me. It spoke to me. And piano probably spoke to him. He grew up in the church, playing. I don't know. It's hard to say, but follow whatever speaks to you.
And then there's the other reason that you pick up an instrument or do anything in the music business. You know what that is?
What?
Girls.
Yeah.
It's just
Well,
what impressed me.
well,
not you.
So
Of
much
course not you.
for me.
But all the
because
rest
I knew
of
I was
us.
born pretty.
Oh, that's right. You didn't have the
Yeah,
same issue.
yeah.
See, some of the other folks are a little challenged. And
No,
so, Not this audience, the audience that was here yesterday. Everybody here is like really good looking. Give yourself a round of applause for just being good looking.
Yeah, you guys are
Rear's
beautiful,
good looking.
man.
That's for sure.
See that guy right there.
That,
Yo, what's up,
absolutely.
man?
Oh, wow. Randy, I don't know if you know this, but I just sat here and added all the numbers up on your shirt. They add up to 1,073, 1073. Isn't that amazing?
Wow, 1073. That's a good knee, Mike. That's good.
Wow, that's-
Anybody own any 1073s out there? You probably got the plug in.
No, I made that
No,
shit
that's
up.
no, you're Rain Man. It's incredible. Rain Dave. Randy's shirt.
Hey, Randy, all
Randy's
kidding
shirt.
aside, I've heard you say before that one of the things you look for in an artist is longevity, credibility, and instinct. And I thought the instinct was kind of I've never heard anybody say that. What is instinct, and how do you look for it, and how do you know when you've got it?
Well, the instincts usually accompany that star thing. Because here's the situation. You're going to be in every situation known to man, and it's how quickly you react, how in touch you are, mind, body, spirit, with your intuition. So you see a crowd like this, you come out, you're on stage, you're singing, or you're playing, and nobody's responding. Okay, what am I going to do? I'm going to find one person in the crowd to try and figure out to work. If I can get them going, maybe 2 or 3 will follow them and go, yeah, it's not so bad. So you got to be quick on your feet. So what I do, there's this girl from Sweden, DK, another one of our, Pilfinger, another one of our writer-producers from Denmark, was in with this girl, Faye from Sweden, a songwriter. So I hear this demo, And I go, who's singing that? Because the instincts that she had and the choices she made melodically and writing-wise, he was just in writing with a girl named Troy. It's the same thing. You go, I got to meet them and see if the instincts follow who the person is. Because you have to have that. I mean, all the Mick Jaggers, all the Steven Tylers, all of the Ushers, all the Princes, all the greats that you've loved and grown up with, they have those instincts.
And you know what's interesting? The way I got Brian as a client, somebody called me and wanted advice. Somehow in my career, I give lots of advice. And so they were looking for publishing companies and managers and other kinds of things, and they just sent this guy, and I was giving the production company advice, not even Brian. And so we're talking, and I meet Brian, and he's saying what he's going through. And I said, oh, you're looking for a manager? So I suggested 10 different managers. And then he played me a demo, and I said, oh, hold it. You know, I'm starting a management company.
Right.
Because the instinct, it just hit me and blew me away. I just knew it was right. So the ability to recognize that is part of it, and you do that by working at it.
And, you know, those are those times that it happens. You know, listen, for all of us, and we can all probably agree about this, sometimes it's annoying you somewhere. People will hand you CDs, jump drives, whatever. I got a song, a website, whatever. But it's those 1 in a million times that you go, you know what? Maybe there's something there.
Something there.
And you took that meeting and look.
One of the fun parts about sitting here doing this is that I get to see all the illustrious people who stop through but don't want to be noticed. And I'm telling you, some legends are popping through behind you, like Bob Clearmountain and other people being very anonymous and looking in and moving forward. Don't look for him. You're not going to find him. He's gone. And Ross Hogarth and a whole bunch of other people. This is a really good crew. So let me ask you a question. Let's switch gears again. You have this incredible platform. I believe that being a steward of pop culture is a privilege.
Yes.
That you have to take it that way, that it has responsibility. Do you feel the responsibility of the platform and what you do with that platform, whether it's educate or tell truth or whatever it is?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I always try and pay it forward because I got to tell you something, grace of God, there's a lot of people that helped me in my career, that mentored me, that taught me lessons that, I mean, my God, I don't even know. I mean, they didn't have to, they just did. And, you know, you always have highs and lows and ups and downs. And I mean, you know, your career is based on what you've known, what you know and what you've learned, how to really continue in this industry. Because I think, you know, the career is what you want. This is hard. It takes a long time. Nothing comes quick. If it comes quick, you better know that tomorrow it's going to probably be some dark, low times.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's all about the journey, right? You want the journey to be long so you can stay in it and have a career in it if you love music. So, I mean, you got to stay up on pop culture and everything. That's why these panels and what you guys are doing with Pensado's Place is so important and so cool, and it's so great that you offer this and people can have questions, get advice, get ideas, stuff you never thought about. I mean, you know, because I was at a lot of these when I was a kid growing up, and like, you know, some of the stuff people would say I believe and some of the stuff I didn't believe.
That's right.
But I took away at least something from it that could help me move further, you know?
Randy, I've heard you say that to be an artist, you've got to have longevity. What is the difference between, in your mind, a pop star and an artist?
Well,
Because you like artists, you like longevity.
I like pop stars too, but you got to know where that is. You know, along with authenticity comes honesty. So I think you always got to be completely honest and real with yourself. How good am I? What do I need to work on? What can I get better with? How much can I listen? If you can't listen, then you can't be helped. So if you know everything, good luck. It's going to be a bumpy, tough road.
Bumpy, tough road.
So the pop star. He's the pop star. Sing this song. Don't worry about writing. We don't care. Wear this wig. Put this dress. Put this shirt on. Whatever. It's basically a puppet. I'm going to tell you everything to do, and you're going to do it. You're going to do it well, and you're going to perform it as if it's you. So it's like an out-of-body experience. You're performing as somebody else. It's almost like being an actor. You have a lot of actors that sing, so part of the thing is if you're a real singer, you say to the actor or the actress, okay, stop acting. Who are you really? If you're nobody really, then stop singing. So, you know, it's that kind of thing. When you're an artist, you hear the barren soul of the artist, you hear the depression, you hear the happiness, You ride them with the lows, the highs. There is no telling them, wear this, wear that, don't do this, stand here, don't stand that, don't do this, don't walk like that. There's no puppet.
Hey, man. Hey, little guy in the back that on the shoulders. You want to sit up here? You want him to come up here and have him sit up here? Bring him through, Cole. Oh no, he said no.
Okay.
He said I don't like the guy in the red. So.
Oh, wow. But yeah, the pop star is a very valid thing, and we've all worked with them. They'll go on for the rest of history. But the pop star is based on a single. The artist is based off a career. So I tell everyone I
That's
work
deep.
with, you want to have a career, because it may not happen today, tomorrow, next year, 5 years from now, but when it does happen, you want it to continuously happen.
And there are
So-
times, just to be fair, that they're not necessarily mutually exclusive. There are pop stars who are artists.
Yeah, who have commerce.
yeah.
Yeah. That's the holy grail to me. That's what
No
you really
question.
want.
That's what you-
Herb always said, and you can say it better than me, but Herb always said you should never build a career on trying to have pop hits. You should build a career on longevity. So all the artists you've managed, and you too, Randy, you guys have a knack for making it.
Well, what happens is if you're blessed enough to win, and you're also somebody who learns, you start to, and it's not a formula, it's learning the dynamics that will help you win, and then those become customized per that artistry. And then you have to shape your campaign to that. So if
That's
you like
deep.
winning,
That's
see, one of the
deep.
things about the record business as opposed to the music industry is that it is competitive. It is
Super.
sharp elbows. You bring it every day, 24/7. Jeff, our technical guy in the back, cussed me out as soon as I arrived to put on my headphones because he got an email from me at 4:45 this morning about tweaking my sound. He was like, "Take your ass to bed." I was like, "No, I got stuff to do." I'm not saying that to pat me on the back. I'm saying that you have to be sort of relentlessly driven to play in this game, and there's a connection between relentlessly driven and passion. It's really passion. I care about what I do. Randy cares about what he does. Dave cares about what he does because it's not easy. So you have to love it. And so we suggest all the time to examine that, make sure you have that, talk to somebody who has had it, and check yourself. Because then if you find it, then you got a shot at taking it to the next place. If you don't find it, save yourself the trouble. Subway is hiring, and it's right down the street. And I don't mean that to be disparaging. I'm saying that it's hard to go away from this to something else that is substantive because people on what I call civilians, they go, "And what is your resume?" "You know Pro Tools."
Great.
Now, how does that work with what I do? So you've got a Faustian choice here, and you got to really think through it. And when you get it right, it is the most gorgeous thing in the world.
Yeah, and something I was talking about with my daughter this morning. We were at breakfast. We were talking about bands, and she's a big Muse fan, and she's talking about bands, people going solo in bands, and what happens. I think the thing that often never gets talked about is that most people do not realize you have to figure out, and all of you, whether you're a writer, producer, whether you're an artist, whether you're an engineer, I don't care what you do. What is your brand? What are you selling? What is just great about you that somebody should call you to do a job? Right. You know Pro Tools. Okay, everybody knows Pro Tools. You're beautiful. Okay, everybody's beautiful. So what makes you special? And you got to think about this for yourself in this room. Why should any one of us pick up the phone and call you? Everybody in here has got Pro Tools. They know the shit back and forth. They got Logic. They got Ableton. What is they got all of that. So, but my drums are harder. Well, my, guitar is loud. That ain't enough. So what is your brand? So when you see these people that are successful today, one of the things to learn, what is their brand? And try and say, what is my brand? I know what Kanye does. I know what Dr. Dre does. Dr. Dre does something different than mustard. What does Max Martin do? He does something different than some. So what's your brand? You need a brand to go out into the marketplace, even before you're trying to be competitive. Dude, you're in the most competitive time now. Everybody's good, and technology's made everybody really good.
And it's global.
And it's
global.
exactly, it's worldwide. So what's my brand? What do I do better than anyone else?
Can I illustrate your point?
Yeah.
So one of the people who learned that in the most definitive way that you guys all know really well is this guy. And when we started talking about this idea, and he's such a classy guy, that's what we love about him. When we started this idea, I said, Dave, prepare yourself for what it's like to go through artist development. And remember we had that conversation? And he called me like a couple years later and he said, I had no idea, because
Really?
the way we fight for this brand is, and anybody who sort of, and I'm not saying that because Herb's so dope, I'm saying that because I understood those lessons and because I came from the outside.
Right.
The amount of time I spend trying to make sure I and this entity that Dave and I have, appeals to you in a way where you can accept it and that you give us back the respect that you give us is countless, never-ending, daily, and relentless. So you guys know when you come to a Pensado event, there's a certain kind of expectation you have. There's a certain kind of brand standard you have. You know it, and you actually go out and represent it. So all that Randy's talking about and all that Dave and I have learned and grown, you apply to your own skills, and those things are as important as your technical skills. And so it's an investment in time and in your growth that you actually can manage and get that information from. We're going to have more of that kind of stuff on the show so you can get that information, and that's sometimes the difference between you being a journeyman and being a badass. You want the badass lesson, because I got to tell you, it's kind of fun to stay in the badass space. The badass space is kind of cool. I'd advise you all to come into it, right? It's a pretty cool thing.
And you know, like, what's the difference in Zeppelin and Hendrix? Big difference. What's the difference in whomever you like and somebody else? Big difference. So that's their brand. So if you want Zeppelin, guess who you calling? So you guys got to figure out with everything that you do and everything you want to do and all your dreams, desires, talent, whatever, why is somebody going to pick up the phone and call you to do something? Because you do something specifically really good. Yeah, you can do some other things too, but it's that special thing that I can only get that from you. The phone won't stop ringing if it's dope. So, you know, that's in terms of the job and in the marketplace. I mean, man, I'm calling. If you got something unique and dope, I'm picking up the phone.
Absolutely.